I was riding my bike down to the restrooms here, and one dog was on a leash, the other dog wasn't. And the dog that wasn't on the leash came at me. And at first I thought it was a pit bull. They said it was a blue Lacey or something like that. But it got me. I couldn't get off my bike in time. I mean, it was on me like a flash. Like if it would have hit my head, it would have took half my skull off. And I realized how powerful it was to throw that rock. And I immediately dropped to my knees, and crawled like back towards the car. But I may re-download that video and let you listen to it. Hey guys, David Ford here, and I'm camping out in Alex Smith Park in Doddridge, Arkansas. I've been here a few times in the past over the years. It used to totally be a kind of a remote camping place, primitive camping, no electricity or anything like that. But in the last year, they added some electrical sites and put in some showers, which I haven't been up there to see yet. But it's a really cool place, very woodsy here, very thick woods, and maybe not right where I'm standing, but around me, very thick woods. There's a little lake over here that I'll show you later, and about 3/4 of a mile down this dirt road, it comes out to the Sulphur River. And so it's just a very quiet place, beautiful place, especially with all the upkeep they do. They give you free firewood, so it's really, really nice. There's one other couple here besides me in the park. They're kind of down that way, probably a couple hundred yards. But so for the most part, kind of quiet, empty, and just a place to relax and gather your thoughts. I decided to come out here because I wanted to get away, and this is my first ever camping video. And out of the 2 times I've been here, there's been what you call activity, Sasquatch activity. I know what you're thinking, but this is like a hot spot, considered a hot spot for Bigfoot activity. And so I'm gonna put out a little game cam tonight and just listen for some wood knocks. But I'll tell you the story tonight around the fire, what happened and what really not made me a believer, because something else had happened before in my life that really made me a believer. But this has kind of confirmed it. But it's a good story, and I'll tell you that around the campfire later when it's all spooky and totally dark. So I got this little game cam off of Amazon, and it's actually a Bluetooth. It says up to 50 meters. You can connect it to your phone and like anytime look at a live video or live feed. And so I haven't really tested that out yet. But thinking about testing it out tonight. Probably going to go hook it up to a tree. I really wanted to put it somewhere deeper into the woods and see, if we catch any wildlife, any deer or anything coming up to it. But this is called a Diati. And I'm not being sponsored by anybody. This is just something that I bought, and I thought it'd be cool to put it out and to see what I get. I'll include what I see in these images in this video when I edit it, so we'll see what happens with that. Behind my campsite is a little trail. And see all this, how it's manicured and stuff. The last time I came here, like 3 years ago, this place was just overgrown, remote, honor system camping. So they've done a lot to it. There's a little hiking trail here. I don't want to put this game cam too far away because I know it's not going to reach more than 50 meters, and I think I'm already really past that. I'm going to have to test it with my phone here, but I'm going to go ahead and do that, test it out, and see how far I can get away first before I put it up. So I tested it out. It is about 52 yards, 53 yards, something like that. So it's really not that bad. But it's a little bit too far from my camper to put it where I wanted to put it. But right now it's just kind of hanging on this sign here. I'll show you. I got it hanging on the sign because I wanted to test it And if you see my phone, you can see it's just pointing at the ground. Put my foot under there. You can see it a little bit. But yeah, it's real clear picture. I just need to put it a little bit closer to the camper. So I got to figure that out. Put up little birdhouses every so often. That's cool. Guess I'll put it on this tree here, close to the tree line here. Only thing is, the wind starts blowing, it's going to kick this off every time. Maybe I can angle it a little bit more that way. So, night's falling, and about to get me something to eat pretty soon. Brought some homemade chili from the house, so didn't want to have to cook on my first night because I didn't know how long it was going to take me to set up, or you know how that goes. So I just went ahead and brought me some homemade chili, and tomorrow I'll be cooking some other things, like maybe some steak or something. But a good opportunity to show you my camper, inside of my camper. I call it Old Blue, and basically I bought it in 2018 for 500 bucks, and it didn't look like this. I had to remodel it. Me and my dad, we pretty much stripped out of everything, the floor, everything. We had to just rip it all out. Everything was rotten inside. Repainted it and just try to bring it back to life. It's not perfect, but it's better than a tent. So let's go inside and check it out. Little screen door here. Definitely gonna have to turn on some light. All right. So when you walk in, basically you got your little kitchenette here, a coffee pot, and over here I got a little mini fridge and a microwave. Up top I got my little storage area. The little rack up there. This is where I sleep. It's about the size of a full-size bed. And if you pan down below that is the table. Basically a two-seater. You can actually fit 3 people there. Over here on the opposite side, to kind of show you the orientation here. This used to be a closet right here, and it just was a small closet. But me and my dad ripped it out, and my wife and I ripped it out, and then me and my dad put in this cabinet, and it has a lot more storage, and then you have room underneath to put stuff too, and then even store stuff under that by the tire wheel. This does not have a shower or bathroom, but I'll tell you what I do about that. Have a little TV. Now this couch is 7 foot long, by the way. Very comfortable couch. I usually hang my trash up over here. And over here I have a little area, just rinky-dink stuff. But this is my little porta potty. And it actually works pretty good. I mean, you open it up and there's a little toilet lid on it, and you can put sawdust and stuff like that in it. But every time I use the bathroom in it, like if it's number 2, I mean, I just take that bag and go throw it in the dumpster. I don't let it sit. So it's kind of a one-use thing, and you put another fresh bag in it. So when it gets cold tonight, I got a little heater, and that sucker keeps this place toasty. So I don't have to worry about getting cold, even if it gets down to freezing. Over here, below the sink, is just some drawers, and basically I do have running water. So I do have that. So as I said earlier, tonight I didn't want to cook. I just brought some leftover chili from the house. So we're going to be heating this up in the microwave, and got me a little milk and some cheese. You got to have cheese when you eat chili, and some crackers. Really roughing it. Dear Lord, thank you for this day you've given me. Thank you for this food. I pray that you'll bless it. I pray that you'll keep me safe in the night, my family. I just pray this camping trip will just be a good time. Have some little fun. In Jesus' name, amen. Ain't nothing like chili when it's cold. Can't beat it. Homemade chili, that is. So the plan for the rest of the night is sit by the fire, maybe have a beer. I'm probably going to go turn on that game cam. Maybe put some shrimp out there beside it, see what it attracts. My dad actually brought it to go fishing with, but he didn't get time to go fishing, so he left that shrimp thawed out in the back of the truck. So I got to dispose of that. The raccoons will be trying to get in the truck. And sit by the fire, and like I said earlier, I do got a little Bigfoot story I want to talk about what happened in this area about 3 years ago. So looking forward to that too. So as promised, it's story time by the fire. About, I don't know, 3 years ago, maybe 4, I came out here with some guys, and they're part of this group, Texas-based cryptozoology group. There's like 3 or 4 guys that came out here. And they do research because, as I said earlier, this has been a hot spot for sightings over the years. Falk is only like 15, 20 minutes away from this area, and everybody's kind of familiar with the Legend of Boggy Creek movie and stuff that happened way back when. So anyways, I went with them, and we was all camping out here, and we all had tents and stuff, and a big storm had came through, and so we ended up going to this pavilion across the street that I showed you. We waited for the storm to pass, and it was about 12:30 in the morning, like a.m. And this, it was about a little after midnight, and they decided to go. It's about, I don't know, 2 miles from here. You go down the highway, you leave the park, you go down the highway, and you take a ride at this dirt road that leads to a boat ramp. And so we went down there, we took our chairs and set out around this, it's like a 4-way or intersection, in this dirt road. And so we got our chairs out, and the storm had passed, by the way, and it was kind of like this, like so still, quiet. You could hear a couple of, drops of water from the trees, but there was no wind at that point, and just crickets and stuff like that. And so we sat around our vehicles and some chairs, and we had our headlamps on, but for the most part we kept the headlamps off and was just talking, kind of whispering. We was kind of whispering, talking like this. And one of my friends, Mike Hall, he did some wood knocks, and to see if we could rouse anything up, see if we could get any kind of wood knock calls back. And nothing really happened. About 10 minutes passed, and we kind of kept talking, just kind of hanging out. And then I don't know, because I've always heard the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or whatever, or some type of very intelligent apish type thing. I don't know. But excuse me. Well, I heard that the Bigfoot's like maybe apish, because what they do, throw rocks, shake trees, and just their mannerisms. But I don't know what they are. But anyways, I was like, hey Mike, because he did a call. We did this long call, like, whoa, for a long time, trying to draw something in. And I was like, Mike, just humor me and try like one of those chimp sounds, like something like that, but do it real loud and just see what happens. Well, he did it like perfect. You know, you could probably audition for a Tarzan film. He did it so good. But nothing, like about 30 seconds passed, and then remember, it's real quiet. And we heard this huge crash about, I don't know, 100 yards away, maybe 80 to 100 yards away. And it just sounded like something pushed over a dead tree, and like you could even hear the tension on the whatever, the limb pop, and it just echoed. And we all kind of joked, you know, like, here he comes. But we all kind of thought, you know, it was just maybe a tree that, you know, was falling from the storm. Maybe it was leaned up against something and waterlogged, and just, it sounded, you know, real massive. A couple minutes go by, and we could hear something coming towards us, you know, breaking branches, and like, hey, maybe that wasn't no tree falling after all. And then it just got quiet. It just kind of went dead. And then we realized, you know, what if it's like just across the street of the road? Because we was on one side of the road, and it was coming from that side. So I said, hey, Mike, why don't you, you know, throw a rock in that direction? So Mike picks up a rock and throws it in that direction, across the street. You know, you could hear it hit the limbs in the woods and hit the ground. We kind of wait. Nothing. So we kind of go back to whispering and talking. And about 2 minutes later, it threw a rock back at us. But this wasn't no small rock. Like Mike just threw like a, you know, not even a baseball sized rock. It was smaller than that. But whatever it threw back was probably a softball size iron ore type rock. You could just hear it coming through the limbs, and it hit a tree. I was probably, I don't know, 10 foot from a tree off to my right, and it hit that tree with a lot of force. Like if it would have hit my head, it would have took half my skull off. And I realized how powerful it was to throw that rock. And I immediately dropped to my knees, you know, and crawled like back towards the car. And it was hair-raising experience. It got my adrenaline flowing, because you have to have hands to throw a rock. And I can promise you, where we were, deep in those swamp area, in the thick woods, right after a major thunderstorm, there was no other person out there. And so we stayed there a little bit longer, and then I couldn't see it. I didn't even, I mean, I tried to see, but I don't have good vision. But Mike said he saw across the street one single tree being shook. And but you know how you look up at the tree line and see the sky, even when it's dark, you can still kind of see, you know, the tree line against the night sky. But he could see one tree shaking. And we basically just said, hey, maybe it's time to go. So we loaded up and got out of there. And later that night, when we was getting ready in our tents and stuff, now this is back at the camp, like 2 miles away. I was getting in my tent, which was a little bit further away from everybody else's. And it was about 2 a.m. Everybody else was asleep. Me and Mike were still up. Mike was getting his bed ready in his tent, probably about 30 yards away. And I was trying to get ready for bed too. And there was a huge knock, like a wood knock. Like it sounded like Andre the Giant had a baseball bat and hit a small tree about that big as hard as he could. And it just echoed. And it just sent shivers. I was like, you hear that, Mike? He's like, yep. It's like, and I was so far away from everybody. I was like by the tree line. Like if anybody's going first, it's going to be me. So I was like, Mike, I'm coming to your tent. He had a big old tent. I had one of those little one-man tents. My cot couldn't even fit in there. But Mike had this like 4-man tent. I was like, I'm coming over. He's like, come on. But yeah, that happened in this location here. So pretty exciting stuff. So that's my Bigfoot story for this camping trip, for this night anyway, day one. And I do have another Bigfoot story that I'll tell you about, which is really what made me a believer in what everybody calls it Bigfoot. I call it the wood ape, but the North American wood ape. But I'll tell you what made me become a believer in that. And this is camping trips, not about Bigfoot, by the way. I love Bigfoot stuff, and I kind of got into it for a while. Actually made a couple Bigfoot movies because of my experiences. Like, it impacted me so much, I made a couple of Bigfoot movies. And they're on Amazon and Tubi and Google Play, Vudu. They're not on Netflix, though. But Something in the Woods and Man vs. Bigfoot, if you're interested in seeing them. I think they're on YouTube also. But yeah, I mean, I got into it for a while, but, you know, that's not my mission in life. It's just fun to me, you know, to go out and do some Sasquatching. And the research was fun. But yeah, I'll tell you about that story tomorrow night, by the fire tomorrow. Pretty much a full moon. That light you see above the window is a motion light. I installed that for this trip. I thought it'd be cool, you know, to have a little motion light. If somebody does come up, put a little light on the subject. Basically just trying to be prepared. You know, like I said, there's crazy people in the world, and somebody stumbles through here wanting to mess with somebody, you know, I just want to be prepared. So yeah, I'm just gonna probably hang back by the fire for a little bit and chill, have a brewski, just enjoy the night, listen to the sounds. If I hear anything kick up, I'll grab the camera. But other than that, that's all I'm gonna be doing is hanging out. It's so quiet right now. You can hear like anything moving. I did hear something over there. Something walking. You know, it could be a deer, raccoon, or anything. Anytime you hear something go bump in the night when you're alone, it's always a little spooky. But like I said, packing. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, you know, people solo camping and just, I don't know why, but they're interesting. Sometimes I just find myself watching them, doing simple things like starting a fire, or sitting around a fire, eating, you know, just little simple things, fishing while they're on their trip or whatever. It's just entertaining. I thought I'd give it a shot. Starting to hear the sounds of the night, some coyotes in the distance. Yeah, but earlier I'd mentioned that I made a couple of Bigfoot movies. Something in the Woods I made in 2014. And it was like the first serious family-oriented Bigfoot film ever made. It's kind of a mouthful. But it's something the whole family can watch, but it's inspired by what some people believe are actual events. So it just depends if you believe their story. I can't say based on a true story, but I can say it was inspired by their story. But I made it PG. I wanted to make it something that would be creepy, but also, you know, kind of suspenseful. It actually has like 4 out of 5 stars on Amazon. Something in the Woods. And the other film I made was Man vs. Bigfoot. I made that in 2021. I think it released in like late 2022, somewhere in there. It wasn't based on anything. It was just pure fiction, brainchild. I wanted to make something that was a little bit more intense, but still family friendly. Had a little bit more gore in it, but not like your typical Bigfoot. I mean, still PG. The gore didn't come from Bigfoot. I ain't trying to run the movie, but you know, like there's one scene where the guy gets a splinter in his side. So, you know, so it's gore like that, not Bigfoot knocking somebody's head off. You know, or chasing some teenage naked girls through the woods like so many stupid Bigfoot movies do. But I just wanted to make a couple films that were PG, entertaining, you know, the whole family could watch, and you don't have to worry about people cursing and seeing boobs and all that kind of stuff. Just, I know they say blood and boobs sell in Hollywood, but I don't care about Hollywood. I just like making movies, and I like family-oriented stuff, you know. I got to give an account for my life one day when I stand before the Almighty. I don't want to lead people away from Him. I want to lead people to Him. So, and we all got to give an account one day, you know. I probably look like a serial killer right now with the moon behind me and the fire glaring in my glasses. But I thought I'd just let you know what the plan is. I'm actually here for 3 nights, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Now, Saturday, storm's supposed to move in, so that means I gotta get all my wood under the awning, under that, on the awning, get it protected and dry. But it's supposed to clear out Saturday evening, so hopefully I'll be able to have a fire Saturday night. Now, tomorrow I may do a little fishing because I've been craving some perch, some brim, whatever you want to call it, some perch, fried fish in a skillet. Sounds pretty good to me. So I may try my luck at that tomorrow. We'll just have to see how it goes. It's about 2 in the morning, and my adrenaline's flowing. I came out here because I didn't hear anything. I mean, there's nothing going on. It's just all quiet. I mean, ain't there supposed to be something trying to kill me out in these woods? I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm just kidding. I'm bored. Thought I'd mess with you. Anyways, it's only like 8 o'clock. But no, I'm not really bored. I'm actually, there goes my motion light. But I'm actually having a good time. Just taking it all in, you know, and relaxing a little bit, gathering my thoughts, enjoying nature. Good morning. Made it through the first night. Nobody tried to break in or anything. And like I said, I can't lock my door, so you gotta see how I kind of got this rigged up here. So I got bungee cords coming down to my door there, in the chair with the broom in front of it. So anyways, I don't want to take no chances, you know. Man. But I didn't get too cold. That heater did pretty good last night in this thing. It got down into the 30s. Like high 30s anyway. But yeah. So I think I'm going to get ready to make some breakfast, drink some coffee, and go from there. Later tonight, storm's going to be moving in, so that means I got to get all this firewood over there under the awning, get it where it's going to be dry, because I do want to have a fire tomorrow night after the storm passes. But it still gives me today, without rain, to piddle around and maybe go fishing, get some things done. Okay, this is not level. Not level at all. There you have it, breakfast for today. Not bad. That hot sauce on the egg sets it off. Dishes are done. All right. Has a little tracker on this camera, I don't know how good it is. I mean, it tracks pretty good, but if I go out of frame, sometimes it loses you and it doesn't always pick you back up, but we're kind of testing it out. Just trying to keep this fire going throughout the day. Got a big old log on here. Hasn't really caught good yet though. Here we are at the pier. Man, this is a nice pier. It's a beautiful little lake. I hear there's a lot of alligators in this thing too. Definitely got to be careful recording here. Don't want a camera going into the water. All that green algae on the water here. So hopefully I'll be able to cast a little bit further out. We shall see. Always want to check your rod tip, make sure the line's not wrapped around it. There's a little overflow right here. And I don't know if there's any perch in here, but I thought I'd give it a shot. So my rod locked up. Won't reel. It's like frozen. I took it out and blew in it and knocked it. I don't have any oil with me. I don't know what the deal is. It's like it won't even move an inch. Like if I do it too hard, it's just going to break the whole thing. So I'm kind of using it right here in this little overflow, like a cane pole. I don't know if there's any perch in here, this little overflow area, but sometimes, you know, when it floods, fish will come in, get trapped in here. So thought I'd give it a try. I can't just walk by it and give up that easily, because out there I can cast far, but I can't reel it in with the rod the way it is. You have to get out there about 20 yards to get past that green algae. But it sure is beautiful out here, if nothing else. What's that old saying? A bad day of fishing is better than any good day at work. Those people were pulling off. I was riding my bike down to the restrooms here, and one dog was on a leash, the other dog wasn't. And the dog that wasn't on the leash came at me. And at first I thought it was a pit bull. They said it was a blue Lacey or something like that. But it got me. I couldn't get off my bike in time. I mean, it was on me like a flash. But it didn't break the skin, but it got a hold of me pretty good. I'll show you what it did. Got my pants leg pretty good. I ripped that. I don't know if you can see it. It did kind of break the skin a little, but it didn't puncture it all the way. But anyways, I wasn't expecting to get bit by a dog on this trip. They said, oh, he's had his rabies shots, if you're wondering. I was like, I haven't had mine, so make sure you keep it on a leash next time. But I think the worst part about it for me is these are my good pants. You know, I got these pants to go to Alaska. They're fleece lined and ripped them pretty good. So they didn't offer to say, hey, we'll buy you some more pants or something. But maybe I'm too nice of a guy, I don't know. I mean, I could have killed the dog in front of him, but I don't want to do that. Unless it came at me. If it kept coming at me, a dead dog. But I'm a dog person. I don't want to hurt a dog, but I know it's just trying to protect their owner. So anyways, got my adrenaline flowing. Whew. So even though I got bit by the dog, I decided to go ahead and come up here and take a shower. But it's a very clean, it's a very clean restroom. And they have a little private shower, has a door, you can lock it. So anyways, about to do that. Like I said, it's pretty empty campsite. I'm trying to steer and do this with one hand. Starting to mist and sprinkle. Man, that's not a good sign because it's only like 3 o'clock. They said it wasn't supposed to start raining until like 1 o'clock. About time for some coffee. Just had me a little pecan pie. Looking good, looking good. Take a couple of these. More of a hook on it. Okay, this is the last thing I'll say about the dog bite because the park committee member just came by and gave me 50 bucks for my pants that were ripped. So I thought that was pretty cool. So anyways, I'm not gonna, report to the police or nothing like I said. It's handled. If I get sick and die of an infection, well, oh well. So I decided to go ahead and walk down this trail because the rain is coming and I may not get a chance tomorrow to do it. So I'm gonna go check out this trail. Why don't you come along with me? This is weird. It's kind of like a burnt tree, but nothing else is burnt. So maybe lightning struck this tree at some point or something and it caught fire. Basically the trail just leads back, by the lake and circles back around to that pier where I was earlier. So I'm not gonna go down there. I already been down there. The squirrel's nest fell out of a tree or something. Well, that was a nice walk on the trail. Gotta get back to the fire. I'm dragging a limb behind me. Get that fire going. Tonight I'm going to be having steak. It's been marinating, and some asparagus, and some beanie weenies. That's the plan. I love those itsy bitsy teeny weeny Van Camps, beanie weenie, full of good snacks. We eat some each day. Remember that commercial? Hadn't seen beanie weenie commercial in years. But who eats some each day like the commercial says? I don't think so. Maybe once every other day. I got the asparagus on. A lot more than I'm probably going to eat. But leftovers can go to the raccoons. They eat asparagus, I don't know. Definitely not going to eat all this steak. So the food is on the grill. Just a matter of time. Did that? Okay, I thought the fire might have went out. It's still lit though. A little gust of wind every now and then. It's been misting off and on. But the rain's not supposed to come. The rain's not supposed to come till later tonight, so. I'm eating this right off the grill. No steak sauce needed. Very good. The asparagus. Very good. Put a little butter sauce on it when it was frying up. I mean butter sauce, butter on it. It was good. We got the dishes cleaned up, and just gonna relax by the fire for a little bit. Before the rain comes, because the rain is coming. But hopefully I'll get an hour or two by the fire. You can see it kind of sprinkling a little bit. It just started. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I got my wife's gun here. I think this is a little 38. It doesn't even have a safety on it. If you can see that or not. But your holster is a little awkward. How it goes in. It clips to this side, so I guess you just gotta reach over. I guess it's a left-handed holster. But that's quick enough for me. Ain't like I'm fighting the Wild West out here. Now, I did promise I would tell you tonight what got me interested in the Bigfoot stuff. So it was basically 2013. But I also live pretty deep into the woods. And every now and then I would hear something that goes stud in the night, but I never thought nothing of it. So I put out it's starting to sprinkle a little bit more. I may have to continue this conversation inside, but I put out a voice recorder type deal, a little Olympus recorder. And it took me, I don't know, I put it out like every day for a month, and most of the time it's just crickets, and every now and then you might hear a wood knock or something. But they said it wasn't going to rain till like 2 o'clock. It's only like 6:30, 2 a.m. they said. I think they might have been wrong on that. But anyways, it took me about a month, and I finally caught something on audio. And what I caught, I mean, it woke me out of a sleep, because I'd fall asleep listening to this audio, because 7 or 8 hours of audio recordings, you know, the crickets in the night and stuff. And one night, I don't know, I was dead, you know, pretty much asleep, and I heard what I heard was pretty awesome, because I actually have it posted on YouTube. I think it's unlisted now. But this is what I heard. And I can pretty much mimic as an actor. I do a lot of film acting and stuff. So I can pretty much mimic exactly what I heard. But it sounded like this. Ooh-ah. And then there was another one, like a little bitty one, by the recorder. But I hear this little ooh, 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 ooh. And it was like the big one, the parent was getting on to the little one. That's the first thing it did was ooh-ah. Then I heard the ooh, 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 ooh. Then it says, oh. But you could hear him right after he says, oh. He does something. He hits something. And that was all she wrote. Only like 3 or 4 seconds. But there's nothing in the woods that sounds like a big old caveman. Thought I heard a branch snap back there. Sitting there talking about Bigfoot alone in the woods by a fire. Brings back memories. But I may re-download that video and let you listen to it. It's probably just a raccoon, because I did eat and threw some food out. But I already got bit by a dog today, so I don't plan on getting bit again by anything else. Anything else tries to bite me, it's getting a bullet right between your eyes. Well, I've really enjoyed my time here. Last couple of days, it's been fun. It's just good to get away. But the rain is going to probably force me to go home a little bit early. And by the time there's a window of opportunity today to pack up and go. Otherwise, I got to pack up and leave in the morning anyway. So I might as well just go ahead and do that when it clears up at about 3 o'clock. Because all the wood got soaked and stuff anyway. And there's really not much else to do. I pretty much did some hiking, did some fishing, got to see the park. And so might as well go ahead and head on back home later this evening. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. That's actually what I'm doing right now. It's just, waiting on the rain to clear. And I'm going to edit the video in the meantime. Well, if you want to see more videos, just let me know. And because I had fun doing it, so I'd like to do another, somewhere else, and maybe shorten the video down. I don't know. You just let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.